Welcome back. It is yours truly, Nick, a Movie AV Impulse, and today I'm going to go over for my guys that don't have Dolby Atmos surround sound setup. Not everybody has jumped the bandwagon and they just have their old equipment and they want to keep it. And by all means, if you are happy with that, hey, do what you got to do. I love the fact that you can still rock your equipment and still have a fantastic time, because like I've said before in previous videos, surround sound is what makes a movie to me. So today I'm going to go over 5 underrated car movies that have phenomenal surround sound, but the one caveat is that they are trapped behind Blu-rays. They do not have 4K releases, and I'm also excluding franchises. So franchises like Bond, which have amazing car chases and crashes and amazing surround sound, will be out of this category. And that goes for the same, without saying, the Fast and Furious collection, because it's Fast and Furious, it's on 4K, and you know these have amazing surround sound. My whole thing is, these movies have remarkable surround sound due to the engine noise and when they start up, and especially 2 of them that I have, and my #1 pick I think is gonna rock your house. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you put this movie on full tilt, my God, your neighbors are going to become knocking at the door. And I know 2 of these movies are going to get like, oh my God, I can't believe you mentioned that, but come here. I don't really care. These are my picks, and to me, these are must-have movies for surround sound and to rock and feel that engine roar. But before we get into it, let's get into that intro.
Makes you think what's the channel about? What's this really about? It's about teaching life lessons, teaching the youth. It's about top 5s, movie reviews. That's what makes you who you are, makes you what you are. There's no rules in this game. There's no parameters. Just truth. So, 2-3 weeks from now, you're gonna wish you subscribed. 2-3 weeks from now, you're gonna be looking for Movie AV Impulse. Okay, I'm reloaded. Let's go.
Now, coming in at #1, I made a video how I feel this should have been a franchise. Unfortunately, it did not get the jump that it should have. It really got a lot of criticism. This movie, to me, I love it. I'm not going to take that back. I don't care what y'all say. In the surround sound, especially when you hear these cars roaring up, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, F1, McLaren, I mean, these cars, when they fire up, oh my God, the surround sound is crazy. And that is going to be Need for Speed. Yep, hate me all you want. I understand, you know, you may not like this movie, and that is totally fine. You don't have to like it. But I think if you give it another watch, this is a very underrated car movie. I love it. I love the plot. The plot is taking from the video game The Run, sort of. I really wish that they would have really made this movie more towards Most Wanted, because hands down, besides Underground 2, which I never really understood, I think Part 1 is better, Most Wanted is probably the best one in the franchise, hands down. And if you love the franchise, then I think you can agree with me on that. Now, coming in at #4, way back in the days, back when we all used to read magazines, I used to get Sound and Vision because that was my favorite magazine of all time. My father turned me on to it. We both had a subscription, and at one point we both had a subscription coming into the same household, but I had to have my copy, he had to have his. But for me, this used to be a reference disc because of the colors and everything, and I know I'm going to get some hate for this, but Speed Racer. I'm out. It is such a quirky, underrated, funny movie. John Goodman kills it. And I love the visuals. I mean, like I said, at one point for a lot of reviewers, back when this movie came out, this was a reference point for them to test out Blu-ray players back when those were huge, and to test out TVs and their color accuracy and everything. And if you were a reviewer back when this movie came out, then you know what I'm talking about. This movie has so many different colors. It's a movie like this where Dolby Vision would absolutely murder this movie because of the colors and the different shades of all the colors. My God. I gotta say, this is one of my guilty pleasure movies. I watch it all the time. I love it. Even the dark scenes, if you got the right TV, the shadow detailing is just amazing. And if you want to purchase any of these movies, I will leave affiliate links down below to all these movies on Amazon, because I think the next ones coming up will be ones that you want to purchase. Like I said, these are underrated movies to me, and anything you buy off of my affiliate links is definitely appreciative, and it helps support the channel. And while you're at it, hit that like and subscribe. Next up is going to be Driven. Now, I watched this movie long time ago when it first came out. I saw this in theaters back in the day. You know, I remember the surround sound being pretty good for a theater, but I never actually sat down and watched it at home, and it has been a long time since I've seen this movie. But Andrew Robertson, today on one of my videos, he commented underneath and he said, hey, you really want to give your surround sound a workout? This is one of the surround sound discs that he'll use as a reference point. And I see why. The only problem that I have is that at times the music that's playing in the background really drowns out the sound of the cars. And for me, like, hearing F1 cars is just absolutely amazing. But this will give your subwoofer a workout. I also think this deserves a 4K release with a Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision track, because the crashes in this, you know, just think about like the pieces of the car flying over your head. It would be killer. Now the next movie, granted, I am not big on Selena Gomez. I think her acting is kind of but Ethan Hawke really saved this movie. And for me, the surround sound, and as much as I am not a Mustang lover, the Mustang is a Super Snake and it sounds incredible. And when they are going through tunnels and going through the city and everything like that, it is just remarkable. And there's no background music to really kill anything, and that's going to be Getaway. I think this is an underrated movie. Not a lot of people talk about this movie at all. You know, Ethan Hawke, his wife gets kidnapped and he has to do this mission. And Selena Gomez, he ends up taking her car. He doesn't know it. She gets tangled up in all this and it just gets crazy. And I really think it's an underrated film. Next up, this has car elements in it. He's driving around in the car all the time and the chase scenes are pretty good. And this is just going to be an honorable mention, and that's going to be Faster. Another underrated film I hear nobody talking about. No talks of a 4K release. I mean, Billy Bob Thornton, everybody in this movie just absolutely kills it. And the surround sound on this is incredible, especially during the gun scenes, the shootouts. There's a bathroom fight where The Rock gets into. Crazy. Love it. And last but not least, the famous James and Nikki story. When it comes to Formula One, that is one of the most cemented stories in Formula One, unless you're talking about Michael Schumacher, but that's a whole different thing, which that Netflix documentary was amazing. But this movie, I'm surprised it doesn't have a 4K. And this movie is absolutely incredible. No music to drown out the sound of the F1. You hear everything so crystal clear. And it's not even a Dolby Atmos track. But it would benefit so much if it had one. And that's going to be Rush. This movie is absolutely underrated, never talked about. I love every aspect of it, and it's definitely one you should check out. This is the one that will literally have your neighbors banging on your wall if you have them. And if you are in your own house, be careful, because this might rattle some things off of your walls if they are not put in properly. Trust me, the surround sound on this will knock your socks off, and unfortunately, all of these movies are trapped behind Blu-rays. But since we'll probably never get something like Speed Racer, that wasn't big, Need for Speed, that wasn't big, and Driven and Getaway, that wasn't big, the two I think I can bank on is probably Rush at some point and Faster. The rest of them I think are underrated movies. Like I said, Speed Racer used to be a reference disc for almost every reviewer just because of the colors, and even on Blu-ray, the colors are just so amazing. I can't really put it any other way. And while this did no justice for the cartoon, it's still a good movie. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy my picks. And like I said, you know, if you really want some car chase scenes, well, franchises are always the way to go because they have to overhype it. But those movies will definitely rock your 5.1 or 6.1 or whatever it may be. Anyways, I will see you on Sunday with the Dolby Vision video that you are not going to want to miss, because I'm going to put one thing to rest when it comes to HDR10 versus Dolby Vision. Anyways, I'll see y'all. Peace.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me.